Can we really trust a New York Times report claiming al-Qaeda had nothing to do with the attack on our consulate in Benghazi? Keep in mind, the Times cites anonymous sources. Our next guest has actually talked to some of the men who were on the ground that night. Congressman Lynn Westmoreland is a Republican from Georgia and a member of the House Intelligence Committee, joins us from the beautiful city of Atlanta, Georgia. Good morning to you, Congressman.
Good morning, Steve.
I don't know why you guys on Capitol Hill are wasting your time with these committee hearings, because the New York Times sent a guy over there and talked to a bunch of people on the street, and they've solved the case. You're wrong.
Well, you know, we can't really give a lot of credibility to that report. We've been talking to Americans that were actually on the ground over there and, you know, participated in defending against these attacks. And he actually went over there and, you know, talked to the Libyans that had great knowledge of this and we think could have even participated in it.
Sure. And what's in it for the Libyans that they talked to tell the truth?
Well, they're not. You know, it's almost like a mother asking a child, "Did you do this, Johnny?" "Oh, no, I didn't do that." But, you know, we've been able to see communications from some of these folks, you know what they were saying. And, you know, you can say one thing when somebody knows that you're listening, but when they don't know you're listening, you may say something totally different.
Sure. The New York Times said that there's no evidence that al-Qaeda or any other terror group was involved, but reports I've heard, the house right next to the consulate was owned by Ansar al-Sharia, which is an affiliate of al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda lived right next door to the consulate.
Well, yeah, Steve, we don't have any knowledge of who owned the house next door, but the reports by the New York Times was, you know, I don't know why they put it out unless it was for political reasons, but we thoroughly dispute that story as far as the link to al-Qaeda.
Well, you just brought it up. Perhaps they put it out there for political reasons. What kind of political reasons?
Well, you know, I think this thing is eventually going to fall back on the State Department when all the truth gets out there. And, of course, Secretary Clinton was in charge at the time. And, you know, there's just now a lot of rumors going and pushing and about her running for president in 2016. So, you know, I think they're already laying the groundwork. You know, we are not quite as used to this kind of political machine as the president and the Clintons have. And so I think they're just laying the groundwork, try to absolve her from the lack of security that was sent over there, the number of requests for security that was turned down. And so I think they're just trying to take the pressure off of her and the administration, quite frankly.
Sure. Well, you know, your comments echo what our emailers are saying. They say, sure, it kind of smells fishy. Before you go, Congressman, though, I want to make sure I understand. You feel, from what you have heard behind closed doors, and I know a lot of it is secret, you can't reveal it, but for, you know, the New York Times says al-Qaeda nor other terrorist outfits involved. Is that wrong?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Well, that's what we're. And accelerated by the video?
No, the video never came into play. In fact, if you go to some of the research of the people that study these media, social media outlets and stuff, there was nothing even on the radar in Libya or in Benghazi, actually, until the next morning. Okay. And so this had nothing to do with the video. Watching a video doesn't give you instructions to how to shoot 5 mortar rounds and the last 3 of them be within a 5-meter radius. And like some of those guys told us, look, if you'd have been on the mortar range and got that close, you would have got some kind of award.
Yeah, no kidding. Exit question real quick. What sort of a grade would you give the New York Times for this report?
Well, I'm assuming you just have to give them an F or a U, how you want to grade them, because it's totally unsatisfactory.
All right.
And it's false.
And that's what we were curious about, and that's why we invited you. Congressman Westmoreland.
Well, thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us today from Atlanta.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks for having me, and thanks for continuing to cover this.
Well, it looks like if we don't, nobody else will.